Have you heard of the Strong Interest Inventory? It's a tool used in career counseling.
Yeah, I know a bit. It helps people find the right career path for them, right?
Exactly. It's especially helpful for high school and college students exploring their paths, as well as individuals looking to start a career or those at a crossroads considering a career change.
That's interesting. I heard the interpretation of the results is really where the value lies.
Absolutely. The raw data can be tough to interpret without guidance from a professional.
So who can actually administer the Strong Interest Inventory?
Great question. It must be given by qualified professionals like psychologists or career counselors with advanced degrees.
And what about those who don't have a postgraduate degree?
Certified practitioners can administer it too, as long as they've completed a certification program, and administering it needs to be Level B certified for psychometric testing. They also need access to the online portal unless they're using a third-party site, which usually includes an interpretation with no extra charge, like in the career assessment site. With the assessment taker's consent, another person of their choice can join the call via conference. This individual could be anyone, such as a psychologist, life or career coach, family member, or friend.
I see. That's great. Having a solid foundation is truly essential before administering or taking the assessment.
Absolutely. The Strong Interest Inventory is most effective when the respondent is well prepared for the assessment, and a qualified professional expertly interprets and discusses the results in depth. To give you an overview, here's how certified interpreters set the stage for the assessment interpretation. Prior to taking the assessment, they revisit the goal and objective of the Strong Interest Inventory assessment. Before the interpretation session, it is crucial to reiterate that the Strong Interest Inventory measures interests, not abilities, and that career development is a lifelong process influenced by external factors like education, skills, and experience. Also, they explain how the assessment can help the respondents explore their interests. A thorough orientation and introduction to the Strong Interest Inventory, tailored to the respondent's goals, fosters rapport, guides effective interpretation, and ensures the correct version of the assessment is used for career exploration, education, training, and leisure planning. Certified interpreters establish the client's state of mind when completing the assessment. Creating a secure environment and acknowledging the respondent's mood during assessment completion through probing questions is crucial for accurate result interpretation and may necessitate reassessment if extreme emotions influence responses. Lastly, interpreters ensure that the respondents know that they still need to decide how accurate the results are. Respondents have the final say on the validity of their career assessment results, and while interpreters provide thorough explanations, disagreements may prompt further discussions and alternative interpretation strategies.
Wow, that's quite insightful. But how do they go about explaining the assessment results to you?
From my experience, the interpreter thoroughly explains the results by breaking them down and discussing each component with you. First is the General Occupational Scales. The General Occupational Scales offer an overview of respondents' interests, highlighting high or opposing theme scores on the Reyes-Sek hexagon, which may indicate conflicting vocational interests requiring strategic interpretation. Next is the Basic Interest Scales. The Basic Interest Scales of the Strong Interest Inventory profile help identify respondents' specific interest patterns, focusing on their top 5 highest scored areas out of the 30 evaluated. Third is the Occupational Scale. The Occupational Scale identifies potentially satisfying careers by comparing respondents' interest patterns with those of content professionals in 130 occupations, highlighting the 10 most and 5 least similar roles with detailed descriptions accessible via the ONET database. Lastly is the Personal Style Scales. The Personal Style Scales assess respondents' preferences for work and learning environments, highlighting opposing tendencies while emphasizing that all results are equally valid.
That's fantastic. It's incredibly thorough.
Yes, the Strong Interest Inventory is definitely helpful. However, it's important for interpreters to note that the traditional version is gender-specific, offering male and female options for generating results and reports. To address this for gender-neutral individuals, both male and female reports can be generated. Alternatively, the newer Strong Interest Inventory 244, which is gender-neutral, should be used for a more inclusive approach.
I understand. Going back to the process, what comes next after discussing the themes and scales?
The interpreter should analyze the respondent's theme code by identifying the highest GOT and cross-referencing it with the BIS, OS, and PSSs to establish a clear interest pattern, addressing any inconsistencies through further discussion. It's essential to explore all possible occupational opportunities, emphasizing that interests evolve over time and should be supported by self-reflection and career planning, while ensuring the assessment is conducted by a licensed professional who ensures personalized, dynamic interpretations and high client satisfaction.
Wow, thank you for that information. I always learn so much from you.